My name is Chidi Ikenna Amobi. Welcome back. Today we are going to discuss a topic that says how to write a good story. For filmmakers, you're a filmmaker, you're a script writer, you want to write a good story. You want a story to be one of the best stories ever in the world. You want a story to pass a wonderful message to people. You want your story to be fulfilled. How to write a good story. How to write a good film story. Good. Number one is you think you get the story first of all, because before you can write down the story, you have to have the story. You have the story. You ask yourself some questions about the story on your own. You ask yourself some things about the story. You ask yourself if the protagonist died here, if he or she dies here, what happens? What's going to happen if she dies here? Or if he dies here, you know. So you ask yourself some questions. You're trying to understand the piece of the story, the mood of the protagonist, the mood of the story you are writing. You need to understand all round part of the story you are trying to write to the world to see, because you are trying to create a particular thing that the whole world will watch. So you need to get the story down, you need to get the story ready. So one first thing you need to do is to understand your story. You don't just write a story you don't understand. You don't just write a story because you think the story will be a boom and you don't really understand how to start or how to end it. No. You don't just write it at all because it will make no meaning. You need to write a story that will pass a message. You need to write a story that you understand that this story is, okay, that even if you wake me up, this story start from here and get to that point, you know. Just have to understand your story, the story you want to write. Then you kick off with the writing. Then you have to get your pen on paper. Then you have to start writing. At a time you might have a blog, you might have writer's blog, but you need to understand. First of all, the way I do, the way most people do, you sequence your story. You write in sequences. Then later on, you begin to dialogue your scenes, your stories. Then you need to sequence your story. You need to, like Jennifer goes to Florida to see Michael. You know, he just put it that way, and what he discussion with the Michael you write later on. Main thing is that you know anyhow you think you can write your story, but just main thing is understand the story, the mood of the writers at a particular point in time, then the scenario, the set, and the location of the whole thing that happened. That is very important, because so that your director can easily make meaning out of the story. Then your good story, your story will be written, will be read by your director. Your story will be read by your director. Then your director will now tell you how to go about the story. Can make some changes, if any. Can make some additions, if any. You know, if he thinks so, can tell you right at come. This Mr. Bill, Mr. Gibson has to do this or that thing when he gets to so and so point and all that. If you look at it and say, okay, I think this is wonderful, you make the additional part of the story, then you go ahead with the shooting. Then you need to write. You need to understand the viewers, your audience. You know, what are they expecting from this story? What do they want to get from this story? What would they like to get after the end of the film? How would they feel? Would they feel fulfilled? Would they feel the story makes meaning to them? Would they feel the story doesn't really do anything at all to them? What will be their reactions? That's what, after watching your films, what will be their reactions? Would they be like, oh, this film is crazy, you know? When the film is crazy, it's not as if the story wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? But maybe because of the interpretation, maybe because of the directorial director's angle of directing, or the technical side of the whole thing. But it doesn't mean the story is not good. You can still have a good story and a bad film. It happens like that. None of them is bad though, but you can still write a wonderful film. Then director will misinterpret the story. He doesn't consult the writer and write something else apart from the story that was written. So you have a story that's not really in concordance with the whole thing will not be moving well again. The whole thing will be like there will be this disconnect between between the writer's intention and the writer's outcome. You know, so when you write a story, you have your viewers' interest at heart. You want to make sure they are fulfilled, they are happy whenever after watching your films. So what you need to do is to make sure you interpret that story the way they will get it. Don't put them high and bring them, take them too high, and later on you don't get the story to be well. The communication gap will be bridged. If you want to get them high, fine, just take it high a little bit, bring it down, then take it high again, bring it down. When as soon as you're doing that, pass your message. You know, the high you are taking it is just to get the pacing, you know, that they will feel they are watching a film, rather. They begin to feel for the protagonist. Oh, they will kill this man. Oh, they will kill this woman. Can you imagine that? So they will be like feeling for the protagonist. That's okay, that's a wonderful technique, you know. That's a very good one. But whenever you're trying to make that, don't just dump it like that. You know, when you dump it like that, you cause some heartbreak. You cause some kind of heartbreak, heart failure to your audience, to your viewers. So whenever you write systematically, you go up and down, find it's good. You're trying to take them high, take them low again. Then they feel, oh, he did not die. I thought that man would die. You know, you make him calm down, then you carry him again, because you are on a race with him, with her. Your audience is like you are passenger, you are the driver, you are the pilot, so you are driving the whole thing. You know, so they will be following you as long as you're driving. So you need to make them to feel comfortable in as much as you pace them up and pace them down. So number three is you write according to your, don't just try to add anything unless you think it's worth it, but don't just try to add anything that doesn't really go well with the story. Go ahead and write the story as it comes to you. If the story is something that comes to this way, put it down that way, then with that you get your desired results. Don't try to make it, you can add one or two things, but don't take it anything from the effect of the story. Let the story still pass the wonderful message it has to pass. Then you get the story ready. You get and I call your director. Director, sir, I want, you know, later on, before that you go for your script conference, then you look into the script. Mr. Writer, this thing, Mr. Gibson should have been this. Mr. Maxwell should have not been this, or stuff like that. You now tell them why it is this or it is that. Okay, this story is okay, let's shoot it this way, let's shoot it that way. The story shouldn't have been short as this, it have been short as that. You know, when you get the story done, because what you did is something you have, then when you have a script conference, everybody will discuss and tell each other this story is worthy to be shot, it's not worthy to be shot, then you go ahead. Thank you, and if what I said is meaningful and useful to you, drop a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much. My name is Chidi Ikenna Amobi. Have a wonderful day ahead. Bye bye.